Come back to you, but I understand that Musala Mudavadi is fielding questions from the members of the press. Let's just go back there and just listen into that.
It's about whether we go manual or we go electronic. And what won the day was that the Kenyan electoral system should be an electronic system consisting of 3 components which you are aware about. And therefore, any attempt to interfere with the basic system, which is electronic, would compromise the entire election. There has been word there from the Carter Center in the United States saying that if these systems don't work, then in their view, the electoral system will be totally compromised. And what we are fighting about is a tough war that has been going on within the IEBC, who can have access or information to the system, have the password. And to that extent, if in any way the death of Chris Msando had a bearing on his being forced to give information as to certain aspects of the system that should not be compromised, or can only be, be unraveled during or on election day, then this is a matter that we need to go into fully. But the potential for hacking into the system, potential that somebody has had access to the system, that would compromise the entire election, whether from the aspects of transmission, whether from the aspect of identification of voters, or even with the register. Up to now, actually, there's no authentic register, electronic register, which the IBC has given out there. So on all 3 components of the electoral process, electronic process, there's a great fear that this may be compromised. And if my leader here can allow me, it is becoming a trend with the police to give information to certain circles, political circles within the country, on a matter which is still under investigation, when it is still very raw. I remember when one of your own, Mr. Menya, a journalist, was arrested at CID headquarters. The police themselves were sending pictures out to elements within the Jubilee leadership, which were then put on the social media. Now, again, to my shock, in relation to the death of Chris Msando, pictures from the crime scene, or what was potentially a crime scene, where the vehicle was found and where the bodies were found. All this now is already in the public domain, and therefore there's a potential that these crime scenes have been contaminated, no doubt, to destroy any investigations which would go towards establishing the motive of the murder, if it was anything to do with trying to get the password from Chris Msando. I remember when I was doing the Uko case and the Julie Ward case, there was contamination of the crime scenes. And whether you bring the FBI or the Scotland Yard, if a scene has been contaminated, it is very difficult then subsequently to deal with it. And my appeal would be, if, as my leader has said, FBI comes or Scotland Yard comes, they should go, fully into the investigations without interference. Because we saw that in the Dr. Uko murder investigations, when Scotland Yard was right in the middle of the investigations, they were sent away. Thank you. Sorry.
Okay. Asante Nibas.
Thank you.
Thanks.
All All right, Senator James Orengo there. He was, of course, in the company of Musalia Mudavadi, who also made his concerns and his statement, really still talking about the Chris Msando murder case. What James Orengo has really narrowed down to is just how the crime scenes have been handled, saying that, you know, by now they seem to have been contaminated, just asking for a more professional way of handling this particular case so that the killers really of Chris Msando can be brought to book. Let me just get the views of my panelists very quickly. We're about to wind up. I'll give you 45 seconds each. We've just had, you know, quite disturbing news over the alleged disappearance of the KDF spokesperson. We're yet to confirm if this is true, but going by what Anyang' Nyong'o has said earlier, and also the concerns being raised by Musalia Mudavadi and James Orengo about the handling of this case, what do you make of this whole situation? Just 6 days to the election. I'll start with you, Professor.
Yeah, I think the media has done its job by highlighting some of these issues. But I think it's getting to a worrying point when a military officer disappears and nobody knows his whereabouts. And we just talked a while ago about things like phone gadgets and so on. And if it's on transit talking to the sister, one by now should have noted where he was last talked to. And that can be traced very easily by the media houses, whether it's Airtel or Safaricom and so on. And then having said that, secondly, is that there must be some element of reconnaissance in terms of a missing person's agency to seek him out and so on. If he's not declared missing by the relatives and so on, you can say he's on his own errands and other errands. But such a sensitive person, holding a very key position, military secrets, as spokesperson, I think something very, very serious they should look into quickly.
All right.
The Msando issue is one that I think many people are agreeing and are beginning to indicate that we'll probably need assistance from a more robust investigative organ, such as maybe Scotland Yard or FBI and so on, so as to indicate the element of neutrality in terms of what's happening around, because it's a political situation, political temperature is very high, and nobody seems to believe in the other. So there's a lot of suspicion in the air as a result of that.
All right, we have to wrap up. Shefa, your last thoughts, and especially Musalia Mudavadi saying that, you know, maybe there could be a need to have an international recognized expert to come and take over from the late Msando.
I agree totally, because it all goes back to what you were saying, trusting institutions, and institutions are made up of people. So do we trust the people in the institutions to actually get us answers, to get us, you know, to get us to a place where we can walk into the election day feeling like we are going to still have the free and fair, credible election, despite everything that has happened? Do we have people who are able to deliver that to us right now? Because it's desperately needed. And this is sad as well, that we have a KDF spokesperson disappearing. I mean, this is a KDF spokesperson. This is not anybody, right? There should be some urgency in the way in which the response right now we're seeing. There should be some commitment that we are seeing from you know, even the head of state and the head of DCI, all these people. We should be seeing them talking about this seriously. Can we not wait and get to a point where another body has been found? We can't deal with another body.
All right, finally, Rungu, very quickly.
I think all that we're seeing really is designed to create a climate of fear and uncertainty in these elections. And I think I would just say to Kenyans, you know, I also fear that we may not come out on August the 8th, and those people who are involved in this will essentially have won. So it's very important not to get fearful and not vote. It's very important that you come out and vote on August the 8th. And voter suppression has always been there. It was there when Martin Luther King was back in, you know, in Atlanta and various places. It's been there in the 1990s when the South Africans wanted to vote for their first independent state. And like them, we too must come out and vote effectively. The last point, I think, essentially is that on Facebook and Twitter, there's a lot of material that's available under hashtag #ResponseAble. So you can see, and including Professor here, if you have problems not being able to find your polling station, there are telephone numbers that we put
that
there
you can call.
That you can call.
All right. Thank you very, very much. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been speaking to Hilton Rungu, who is the Executive Director of Chapter 1, but also representative from the Response Able campaign. Thank you for your time. We've also been having Professor Maurice Amutabi, who's a VC at the Lukenya University, together with Shefa Okore, who's a political analyst. Thank you very much for your time, ladies and gentlemen. And thank you for watching News Center. It has been 2 hours of Kivumbi 2017. We appreciate your company. My colleagues from the Kiswahili team are coming up to continue with the coverage here on Kivumbi 2017. My name is Betty Kialo. See you again tomorrow. Till then, keep it KTN News. This is your election station. Goodbye.